Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on School as a Learning Organization. Our group members are Lauren Guidry, Christina Zachary, Danielle Singleton, myself, Carlos Whiteman, and Kirsten Lamb. We begin with a description and explanation of the topic. School as a Learning Organization can be traced back to the late 1980s. It quickly took the shape of the current multi-level concept that involves individual behavior, teamwork, and school-wide practices and culture. An effective learning organization takes pride in promoting beliefs, values, and norms that support an environment of sustained learning through the development of a learning atmosphere, a learning culture, and a learning climate. The key concepts of a learning organization can be seen on the slide in front of you. In the figure above, we begin with developing a shared vision centered on learning of all students, followed by creating continuous learning opportunities for all staff, promoting team learning and collaboration among all staff, establishing a culture of inquiry, innovation, and exploration. Next, embedding systems of collecting and exchanging knowledge and learning with and from external environment and larger learning systems, and finally, modeling and growing learning leadership. Some issues that can be found in a true learning organization. It can be improved teaching for every teacher, how to improve learning for every student, redefining improvement from compliance to a collaborative commitment to excellence through the data analysis. Schools have traditionally not been learning organizations, and in order to improve the learning organization, schools must demand change in the form of open dialogue relating to individual and organizational beliefs, as well as behaviors, actions, and consequences. If school organizations do not discuss and analyze data, problems are unlikely to be solved, interventions unused, and schools cannot move forward as a learning organization. The development of a shared vision will improve the school as a learning organization in order to build a solid foundation for the learning of every student and the development of each educator. There should be commitment from each member of the group in creating and cultivating goals through equal partnership in decision-making from the bottom up. Members should engage with school data as a group to examine where they stand currently and where they need to grow. Every member should have the same focal point. Reliable and accessible data tools should be in place for some members to spend time analyzing it rather than organizing it. Organizing the data can produce problems which could delay the shared vision's development and implementation. Members then should collaboratively create a shared vision, and the school leader should then focus on facilitating the vision. The shared vision for the school's improvement plan should display how to implement the vision to provide the best results, not just to close the gaps for compliance. Further development, members of the committee should clarify roles in order to cement a lasting shared decision-making atmosphere. This will explicate and support everyone's job in the implementation process. It is important for everyone in the group to know everyone's role in order to avoid confusion throughout the process. In an effort to clarify roles, the group should identify members' strengths and decide on a leader. The selected leader should have a deep understanding and desire to achieve the goals set forth by the committee. Clarifying roles and selecting a leader will set the foundation for a collaborative work environment where members can review, examine data, use problem-solving techniques, and serve as a support for their team. A large component of creating a school learning environment through a school improvement plan is the ongoing professional development provided to staff to ensure the shared vision is carried throughout the learning environments. Moving forward, ongoing reflections by the staff will determine the goals set forth and are being pursued. Important takeaways regarding the development as the school as a learning organization focus on the collaboration and ensuring each student receives what they need, when they need it. Also, focusing on what they want the students to know and be able to do is important when the outcomes of the shared vision are vital. Deciding on the pathway to get there and the knowledge that members achieved this together are just as important. Through collaboration, commitment, and engaged interaction, student success for every student is achievable. When learning organizations begin to work in unison rather than in isolation, the result is continuous school improvement in all areas of the organization. In schools, the ultimate goal is increased student learning and achievement. So the organization is not learning together, then students are not growing in achievement to their fullest. Becoming a true learning organization requires that all members get on board and stay aligned for long-term improvement. Peter Senge, the director of the Center for Organizational Learning at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Sloan School of Management, and John O'Neill, senior editor of Educational Leadership, discuss how the mindset of a school as a learning organization can be harmful to the school as a whole, as well as the educators and students. A learning organization is an organization in which people at all levels are collectively continually enhancing their capacity to create things they really want to achieve. Senge describes how the teachers feel oppressed and that the goal of a learning organization seems unattainable. He goes on to explain how student learning is at the forefront of all schools, but teacher learning is important too. When schools are operated by scripted curriculums and mandates, teachers lose the ability to learn during the daily interactions and activities within their own classrooms. In an article by Laura Field, a faculty member at Macquarie University, the ideology of a school as a learning organization was challenged. Ms. Field discussed the efforts in place for schools to operate as learning organizations, but supports her stance on the difficulties surrounding the shift. She cited 3 areas to examine regarding school as a learning organization. First, the lack of agreement about what it means to claim that a school is a learning organization. To achieve a school-wide plan where all staff members agree and participate is a struggle. Secondly, the tendency to ignore the political dimensions of sharing learning organizationally is discussed. Staff members may not be as willing to share their ideas for various reasons, but not sharing invalidates the shared learning environment being sought after. Lastly, Ms. Field cites the poor quality of much of the scholarship surrounding organizational learning in schools. The pressure placed on teachers to implement and execute the school-wide plans affects aspects in their classroom lives as well as their personal lives. Becoming a learning organization requires a commitment to continuous school improvement through establishing a framework that supports the comprehensive use of data. That will enhance instruction and foster successful learning for students. Through implementation of best practices, will move an organization to continuous improvement and excellence. Some other examples of best practices is to create a shared decision-making structure so it can support multiple perspectives to implement shared visions. Identify change agents to lead specific tasks, which can help allocate tasks based on interests and talents. Creating collaborative work culture, which overcomes status quo through collaboration. Supporting improvement through professional learning, opportunities to learn new concepts and outside supports, and lastly, engaging staff in evaluations, programs, and visions, which can lead to reflection of school processes to determine differences being made. Becoming a learning organization also requires establishing a framework of principle and beliefs of guidelines. When an organization establishes a logic model that serves as the underpinning of the framework, we then can begin to look at the organization holistically. The logic model allows an organization to formulate. Creating a logic model as an implication for best practices will guide an organization with a deeper understanding of the how and the why of school improvement. Establishing a team to collaborate on aspects of the whole school and how its vision is working to achieve outcomes is imperative. I'd like to say thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation, and thank you. We look forward to your feedback. Enjoy the rest of the week, guys.